Hi there, and a very warm welcome to Frugal. My name is Lara. This is a frugal living and budgeting channel, and customary coffee cheers to you. I hope you're having a fantastic week, and if you're doing food budgeting in the month of October, that's going so well. If you're doing low spend or no spend month or year, that's been going brilliant too. And that if you are trying to use up your leftovers, I really hope that you're finding that you're able to do that successfully this month as well. And thank you so much if you are joining me for a Using Up Leftovers challenge in the month of October. Thank you so much for all the comments that have been left regarding all of that too, and just in general response to videos that I've done. And I will get back to every comment as soon as I'm able. I'm on it. But I've been a bit delayed doing that. I've been having a lot of bad headaches in the last week. Been feeling very, very run down physically and very tired. But I'm getting there, getting my mojo back a bit more now. I've just been having to pace myself. And the using up leftovers has been going pretty well. I've been using up salad in the fridge, and I've used up some of those yellow sticker things I showed you from the previous video. I also made a big batch of chili in here. It's going to need to be revived, and that's going to be part of my dinner tonight to use up with some, probably just throw in some veggies with it and some tin tomato and just jazz that up a bit. But some of that reduced price mince, veggie mince that I bought last week has been put to really great use. But I've still got in front of me here, because I've got a load of tins to use up sitting just here to remind me and prompt me. So I've got 4 tins of beans stacked here to use up, 4 tins of tomatoes. I've still got some tuna and some baked beans. I've got some jars of gherkins and sauerkraut, but I need help to open them. So I'm going to get a bit of help when I've got anyone visiting, because I have a bad wrist. In fact, both wrists now. Hi. So I find it really difficult to open jars on my own now, so I need to get a bit of help. And then other than that, in the tinned and jars things, I've got condiments that I want to use up and to experiment with new flavours. Like, for example, this hoisin sauce. I still haven't done anything with this, but watch this space. And then, of course, in the freezer and the fridge, I've got different veggies to use up, a bit of fruit in the freezer. I also have some allotment produce, which I'm going to show you a video about the allotment very soon. Looking forward to that. And then I also have some packets of, you know, couscous, rice, the kind of dried carby goods. And I just really want to use up these things, get them away and have a fresh start, replenish the cupboards with newer stock. And then I'm going to actually start keeping track of things more. Definitely labeling things that go in the freezer. That should have always been happening. And then with other goods, rotate them. There's like first in, first out rule I recently learned about. It's part of a kind of stock rotation rule, first in, first out. And there's also FIFO, first expired, or first expiring, first out. And these kind of things help encourage us to actually use what's there and keep a kind of a circular movement of goods in the cupboards, in the fridge, the freezer, and it helps reduce the risk of things sitting at the back for years being forgotten about, like I explained in my previous video about why I'm doing this challenge. I discovered that I had some seeds and that kind of thing that were from January 2018, or was it 19? I think it was 18. But the point is that if I'd been rotating stuff, that would have never have happened. So, oh, I'm going to sneeze. No, I'm not. I thought I was going to sneeze and then it didn't happen. But yeah, this brings us nicely to what I wanted to have a chat to you about, as we're about halfway through October and I'm reflecting on using up things I've got, so I'm making space for the new. Out with the old, in with the new. And it goes hand in hand with what I've been thinking about in general too, about recycling. So in our lives, recycling is kind of ties in with the natural rhythms of the world and the natural rhythms of our life patterns and the seasons and whatnot. I'm in autumn season here in the UK, and so the leaves are falling and there's this natural recycling that goes on. And even in our breathing, we have that natural rhythm of recycling. Out with the old breath, in with the new breath. And that sort of recycling of goods. And this year's felt like a real recycling in practice year for me, because I've let go of a lot of things in life that didn't feel right for me anymore, to make room for embracing new in my life and fresh chapters. Letting go of items, the decluttering en masse. I have worked out that I've decluttered at least 2,500 things this year, 500 approximately in May and in September, and about 1,370 something in August. But there's been other bits and pieces as well, and there's been a lot more when it comes to packaging items and that kind of thing. So I've hit at least 2,500. I've stopped counting now. But it's just felt very natural to me this year doing that as well, like sort of our natural cycles on turbocharge. But recycling is something that very much happens around us as well. We've got things like Freecycle, Frugal, Gumtree. There's things like Facebook Marketplace, Vinted, eBay, these kinds of sites where people let go of what they no longer need, and they can also acquire and bring in new things. And it's recycling of those goods. And I love it so much because it helps save things from landfill. And it also helps our purse strings enormously, because it's so much cheaper to buy things on the likes of Vinted and eBay. Sometimes you can get job lots of things as well if you're looking for specific kinds of things. I love the bartering sites that you can get for the same principle. And the other big thing I love about this is it helps the people. It helps the people who are letting go of those things. It gives them a bit of cash in their pocket, rather than the money going to big corporations and supporting companies where it's maybe factory conditions that aren't good. For me, ethically, as a consumer, I'm so much happier to follow a recycling principle. And it just makes me feel so much happier in myself to do that, because I know it's going to help boost somebody else's income, that they've got a little bit of cash to help them with their day-to-day costs, because as we know, they can be so much higher. And also what I love about it as a buyer is it helps me save costs, because I can find something at a fraction of the price of what it would cost new. The other thing I love about recycling principles with shopping and budgeting is I often will buy the old stock that's heavily discounted as well, and that helps keep the cost down. Again, like for example, the yellow sticker things. It's helped breathing a new lease of life into those things rather than them getting thrown away. It's helping recycle them. Because sometimes for fresh things, there might be a little bit of a ding or a bruise or a little bit of mold or something on something that would be having to just get tossed. But taking that bit out, if it's safe to do that, some things are beyond saving. But just by being willing to put a bit of love and TLC and time into it and just reviving it, it might be possible to breathe new life. It can be hard to get the balance, because I hung on to a lot of things that I didn't really need because I didn't want to be wasteful. So I'm still going to embrace these principles in my life, but I'll be doing it for things that actually do add value, not for everything. And I'll just not be bringing in things that don't add value in the first place. And that should hopefully prevent there ever being clutter again. So I'm jumping between quite a lot of different things here because I feel like this idea of recycling, it kind of permeates, and it's a thread that runs through all of these different parts of a frugal mindset and a frugal lifestyle, different aspects of budgeting, different aspects of our lives, whether it's material goods, whether it's practical items, whether it's food related items. Embracing and adopting that recycling principle is so good. But also when it comes to our currency in terms of creativity as well, because sometimes I'll do videos, for example, and it might be a similar theme. I've talked about these kind of themes before, maybe not in exactly the same way as in today's video, but sometimes I'll recycle ideas or topics and I'll bring them again. And one of the reasons for that is because each time it's a bit different and it's a fresh take on it. It's adding to it. It's bringing a new sort of slant. It's also then reaching a different audience because there may be subscribers who they've maybe even forgotten, or it's been a while and it's a refresher for them. Or there might be subscribers that have come that are new since I last talked about these topics. So it's good to bring these things again. And also there's parallels with things that other people talk about and other people make videos about or write about, or everything in life is recycling ideas that have come from somewhere. And I love that because it generates and adds on new meanings. And it also helps bring these ideas to others, and it helps kind of spread that good word and encouragement and innovation and inspiration. And it's something that's free to do. So I love the fact that for free, we can share ideas and we can bring them again, and we can repeat things that have already come before, but again, reach new people, add new meanings, and just help spark that motivation and inspiration and help one another. And to be able to do that without having to pay. And it can be a gift to get to do that, and a gift to get to share that, and a gift for others. So that's a beautiful thing. So this kind of recycling and free cycling kind of mentality, I really love that as just a kind of principle to live by. I think that we naturally go through these cycles in our bodies and in our minds. I know for me, when I reflect on life and I learn about things, I'll learn in cycles. So I'll come back to things I've learned about before with a new perspective from different life experiences along the way, and then I can build on it, and it kind of spirals round. And I find that really fascinating as well. So on our personal journeys, in how we are in the world, in how we share our ideas and thoughts, and how we go about making the most of our resources, our time, our funds, our creativity, we can use this idea of recycling for so much positive impact and so much good. It's beneficial in another major way as well, which is if it's helping reduce new kind of mass consumption and mass creation of things and wastage. Because, oh gosh, I can't remember the statistic, but 2 seconds and I'm going to see if I can find out. I'm going to pause this for just a second. Hi again. So I've just needed to remind myself, because I did a course about 1.5 years ago to do with the environment and to do with climate change and whatnot. And it was an incredible course, but it was also very sad in some ways, because now I can't remember how many billion people there are on the planet, but there are a lot of us. and more than there have ever been. And it's very hard for our planet to cope with that. And the way that we as a species are using the Earth's natural resources, the Earth is struggling to sustain, it's struggling to cope, because the way we use resources, technically we would need and this is what I wanted to double check, we would actually need 1.7 Earths to sustain the demands we're putting on our planet right now. So that's staggering to me. We almost need we almost need 2 Earths to help this. You know, if we had 2 Earths, they would only just be coping with what we as humans are putting, the pressure we're putting the planet under to sustain us. That just is mind-blowing to me. And it's also scary. And it also makes me as determined as possible to recycle, because it's helping protect the planet. It's helping reduce the overburdening, even a little. But if there's a ripple effect, the more people are doing that, the more hopefully that can also help give the Earth a bit of respite, just to try and help it recalibrate and equilibrate and cope with all the demands we're putting on it. Because our planet is incredible and beautiful and amazing, and those natural rhythms and cycles that recycling celebrates and embodies and embraces. You know, Earth is such a great teacher, showing us that that is a way to help Earth and help ourselves have balance and reduce our impact, reduce our carbon footprint. And we can't put a price on that either. So thank you so much for joining me for this chat today. I've really loved being able to have a chat and just go blah, 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 and just open up and chat about this theme, because as you can tell, I feel very passionately about it. And I feel that it's something that's a win-win, and it can help us on a personal level, but on so many other levels too. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you very soon on the channel. Take care. Best wishes. Bye.